Let's back up a bit. This is Abigail, second one from the top, sort of right center. Abby is a sea snail in the species O.Semistriatta, and she tells everyone because it's so fun to say. She loves the beach, but she's a mind-your-own-business sort of snail. She spends most of her time hiding under the sand. Abby's friend Millie lives down there too. Millie is in the species Mazatlanea fulgurata, which Abby thinks is a bit much. It's always drama with Millie, and she can't stop talking about her babies, which she carries on her back. If she stopped freaking out for a second, we could see them. Freeze. See? They form little clusters on her back, and if we take a closer look, we can see all the little babies inside. Caviar and escargot all in one. Very French. They're going to die too. In any case, let's get back to Abigail, the O.Semistriatta. As it approaches low tide and it's time to eat, Abigail does something special. Mostly buried in the sand facing the ocean, she stretches out two propodial appendages, which are wing-like extensions on the front of her foot. Here they are up close, but she gets a little mushy out of the water. She wipes these appendages across the bottom of her foot to gather mucus. As she unfurls them into the flowing water, this creates two mucus nets. Sort of like if you full sneezed into your hand and then spread your fingers. These snot nets collect small particles of food from the passing water. It's kind of crazy, right? Then she pulls the mucus back to her mouth and slurps it all up. Her mouth is the tube on the top. The bottom one is a siphon. Thank you, Abigail. That's a better view of your siphon. It's like a little snail snorkel that pulls in water and helps them breathe. To keep eating in the flowing backwash, she needs to move with the tide. She travels by foot. Sorry, dad joke. Wave-like muscular contractions similar to this land snail, along with a nice dollop of mucus, allow her to glide easily across the wet sand. So you leave a little trail of mucus, nothing to be embarrassed about. On the back part of her foot, which is called the metapodium, she has two metapodial flaps, which are sometimes tucked up against her side as she crawls. She can use these flaps to help pull herself under the sand. They form an underground covering for part of her shell. Think somewhere between foreskin and a vest. Comfy. She also uses these flaps to sort of gallop when she's startled. Go, Abby, go. However, when she wants to travel a bit further, she can do something amazing. By extending her flaps and turning on her back, she can use her foot to catch the surf. It's like an underwater Mary Poppins umbrella, but covered in mucus. She'll even flap along a bit, like a bird, keeping up speed until she's in a more suitable position on the beach. And then it's back to eating boogers whilst buried. However, Abigail is not the only surfer on this beach, though. The sea snail Agaronia propatula, nicknamed Agro, you'll see why, has quite an impressive foot surfboard of its own. But Agaronia is not interested in making booger nets in the backwash. Instead, it's surfing these beaches to find, well, Abigail. Let's back up a bit. Agaronia is a fearsome predator, but here's the thing. It can't really sense anything more than about 3 centimeters away, and it's the same with Abigail too. Beach life is so simple and predictable that over the years they've lost their eyes and their tentacles, sort of like how human surfers eventually lose their shirts and shoes and jobs. So watching these snails can sometimes be like watching a bad horror movie. No, don't go that way. Well, she went that way. Chomp. Instead of eyes and tentacles, Agaronia has evolved sensory organs on the front part of its foot, or propodium. This leading edge that plays footsie with the world can sense chemical signals and movement. If it comes across a drop of snail juice, it strikes. It likes to eat living things, so almost anything that moves is fair game. When it strikes, Agaronia has a fairly unusual method of capture. If it's unclear what just happened, let me explain. Let's just look at the foot, and don't give me crap about the baby. That's a very bad baby. During a strike, the front part forms a spoon shape. This grabs the prey and pulls it back towards the back part of its foot. The back part, or metapodium, kind of cinches up as if it had a drawstring. This forms what is called a metapodial pouch in which the prey is stored. Because it can't really see, if Agaronia bumps into something, it takes advantage of it. It's like if, during Black Friday shopping, Walmart turned off all of the lights. You'd just be grabbing stuff. Who knows what would end up in the cart? When you bump into the janitor, if he's small enough, you pick him up and plop him in there, right next to the George Foreman grill. So this hermit crab here, has eyes by the way, should have known better, is now seriously regretting having passed over that bottle cap to live in. And he's like, I'm a crab, not a snail. Look, I have pinchy pinchies. Agaronia don't give a crap. Once its prey is in its pouch, Agaronia begins to bury itself in the sand. Oh gosh, it moved. This is a bummer way to die, let's face it. It looks like someone mostly buried an old man on a nudist beach. Anywho, Agaronia's foot begins to release proteolytic enzymes to start the digestion process. Sorry, it's kind of ironic to die in a testicle, right? Once under the sand, Agaronia will insert its mouth into the pouch on the end of a tube-like proboscis. This mouth is equipped with a radula. You can see one in action on these other snails and slugs. It's a flexible sheet of teeth like fleshy sandpaper. Using its radula, it will eat up all the soft parts and leave the cleaned-out shells behind. So when you pick up that pretty shell on the beach, it's basically a murder scene. But if you're an Agaronia, you have to be careful. Live by the foot, die by the foot sort of thing. Because Agaronia are cannibals, and there's always a larger Agaronia afoot. Sorry. It gets complicated. You start getting into arguments about who's eating who. You know, stuff you'd hear at an orgy for narcissists. Agaronia are so aggressive they will attack things much larger than they could ever fit in their pouch. But they'll give it the old college try. By the way, if you're a scientist with a foot fetish, this is the animal you should study. Danny, I don't want you going down to the beach and putting your finger in snails' feet. All the neighbors keep asking me, why is Danny going down to the beach and fingering snails' feet? Mother, you can't talk to me like that anymore. It's my job, and I'm a grown man. Look, it's trying to eat a people. Agaronia isn't all offense, though. It has one more special feature. See that dark line that goes through its foot? That is called an autotomy plane. When Agaronia is under attack and retracts into its shell, the part of its foot that is exposed can tear off along that line, and over time it will grow back. On beaches very far away from this one, across the world, other snails have also evolved the ability to surf. If Agaronia are like the lions of the swash-surfing snails, then snails in the genus Bullia are like the vultures. They've got more of a longboard style of surfing, and what they're looking for are dead things that washed up on the beach to rot. When Bullia senses the cloud of juices wafting from this BlueBottle jellyfish, for example, it will surf to the part of the beach where the jellyfish is most likely to have landed. If you smell cookies, look in the kitchen sort of thing. No need for a foot pouch. The jellyfish isn't going anywhere, and Bullia feeds on the remains directly with its mouth tube. Bullia also have a creative way of rounding out their diet. Their shells attract the growth of a green algae, which they will eat from time to time to get their veggies in. Even sharpshooters like Impagis saliana have taken to surfing up and down the beach as they hunt for worms. They ride a nice little shortboard. Impagis are in the same superfamily as these cone snails, and they have yet another method of hunting. They extend their proboscis out towards their prey, in this case a not-so-smart fish. Then they use a modified radula in the shape of a barbed needle to harpoon the fish. The radula contains toxins which can stun or kill the prey, which is then consumed whole by the rest of the mouth parts. It's kind of terrifying, but it's over pretty quickly and it beats dying in a ball sack. By the way, if you're a fish, don't respond to those ads in the newspaper to be part of a clinical research trial. So wait, what am I supposed to do exactly? Just hang out? That's it? Hold on. Is this a porno? Oh crap, it is a porno. What? Yet another snail that surfs is just kidding. There's no more. You got scared there for a second, didn't you? But listen, I need to talk to you about these snail trails. They're random, right? But are they? Are they? I mean, look at it. This isn't like that whole type the word monkey a million times and then it's, wait. You take a typewriter and you put a monkey in it. No, there's a lot of typewriters, all right? And there's a lot of monkeys. and they're all drawing in the sand. This is really getting embarrassing for both of us.